Hi, I'm Margarida Paiva. I'm an artist living in Oslo and I work mainly with video and video installation. I started working with video around 15 years ago, and at the time I was very inspired by cinema and was making short videos influenced by thrillers or film noir. Gradually I turned to more complex narratives based on real stories that were then fictionalized. In the last few years, I've been working on videos that are more poetic. They're not defined by a specific narrative, but they imply more a certain atmosphere to convey a thought or an idea. I always prefer to shoot outdoors. There are certain environments and locations that inspire me to make a film. The last couple of years I've been focusing on nature and other living beings, and I've been making short films that are more experimental and where animals are in the center rather than people. I usually work on my own or with a small team of 1 or 2 people. And in the post-process, I always collaborate with a sound designer or musician composer. I find that sound is fundamental to set the mood of the film or create ambience. And it's important for me to work with someone with professional expertise in that area. In addition to my artwork, I also make video documentation of performances and exhibitions or festivals. So a while ago I started to work with the Deteco shorts for the art school in Bærum, and now I'm going to show a short example of how I edited one of the videos, the student exhibition Check of Reality. So here is Final Cut Pro X, and on the top left I have the browser with all the footage I'm going to need to edit the video. When it comes to document exhibitions or artwork where movement is not involved, I prefer to use photos because it gives me more flexibility in the editing. I'm going to open a new project. A project is like the sequence I'm going to make, where the actual edit is going to take place. Usually I'll go through all the footage and select what to include in the sequence. Now I'm going to select one of the students as an example. Okay, I can select this one with Marta and drag it to the timeline. I can always trim the clip in the sequence and then I'll play it and see what I want to include or cut out from the sequence. I see that sometimes she pauses while talking and I want to cut out those parts. So I go to the blade tool and cut out what I don't want to include in the sequence. I cut first with the blade tool and then go back to select tool and select the clip I don't want to use and delete it. I can also trim the clip by clicking and dragging the start or the end of the clip. Now Marta is talking about her work, and to introduce more rhythm in the editing, I will use more images of her work while she's talking about it. I go then to the photo folder, find photos of her work, and drag them to the sequence. So you see in the sequence these layers on top of each other. When you play the video, you always see the ones on top. Now I need to use the zoom tool so I can see in more detail what I'm doing. And to create a good rhythm, it's good that a new image starts when she starts with a new sentence. So image and sound follow the same rhythm. So here a new image appears when Marta speaks again after a small break.
Hei, jeg Marta Therese Hagen, og jeg stiller ut i utstillingen Check of Reality på DTK. Jeg stiller ut med en serie på 10 små portretter.
So I do the same with more images of her work, and I'm starting to have a sense of rhythm by alternating the video of her presentation with the images of her work. So it's basically about following the rhythm of her voice and edit the images accordingly. Now there's another issue. The photos have a different aspect ratio than the video. A video image is 16:9 and the photos are 3:2. At least the photos taken with my camera. So that's why we can see the bottom image on the sides because the top image is narrower. So to fix this, I go to Inspector on the right and increase the scale of the top image to 120%. Because it's a photo taken in high resolution, it's okay to increase the scale. It will still be good quality. To put it in numbers, a HD video image is 1920 by 1080 pixels, which is the same size as the sequence I'm working on. And the photo taken with my camera is 3360 by 2240 pixels. And this is a photograph, which means that there is no movement. So to create a more dynamic editing, I can introduce the illusion of movement, and I do this by zooming in or out of the image. So I click on the image and put my select bar on the first frame of the clip, and you can see here in the bottom left corner that it's the start of the clip, and then go to Inspector. On Scale, I click on Add a keyframe. So the first frame of the clip is 120%. Then I put my select bar on the last frame of the clip that you can see in the bottom right corner of the image. I go back to Inspector, add a keyframe again, and change the scale to 130%. So now when I play, I can see a subtle zoom movement, which is just the image scale increasing from 120 to 130%. And this I can do with the other images that are still photos. I can also make a different kind of movement. Instead of a zoom movement, I can make an image move sideways. And I do the same as before, but instead of changing the scale, I can change the coordinates in the position by adding a keyframe in the start and end of the clip. Okay, now where Marta is talking about her working process and the research she does for her work, I did film some clips of her in the studio that I think would fit well here. So I try this one first. Okay, this clip has sound, so I'm going to remove the sound of the top clip because I only need the sound from the bottom clip where she is talking. And I do this by right-click or control-click on the keyboard, and this small window shows up. Then I select Detach Audio, and then I just click on the sound file I don't want and delete it. Now I'm going to add some music to set the mood. I'm going to import media, and I have a folder in my computer with different melodies that are royalty-free, so I can just use them without crediting. Now the music is too loud and I can't hear Marta's voice, so I'm going to lower the volume of the music, and I can do it directly here, just drag down the volume line, or I can do it in the inspector to be more precise. So basically I do the same for every student, one after the other, and put some images in between each presentation.